Hi, I'm Alexander Zonjic, and when I'm not playing my flute Goldie or hanging out on radio, I'm watching Chris and Dana on Metro Jazz.
For years, smooth jazz V98.7 has played a vital role in satisfying listener demands for smooth jazz. The morning show serves as an anchor for the station in getting out those smooth jazz vibes. Metro Jazz spent some time at the radio station to get a behind-the-scenes look at the personalities there and how they came to be in radio.
We're here at Smooth Jazz, WVMV, a station offering a cool mix of contemporary vocals with smooth jazz instrumentals. Now, Detroit jazz fans have very few places to go to hear their favorite artists, and Smooth Jazz is the most widely recognized jazz format station in the city.
But what is it like to be a radio personality here? What's involved in putting together a show for smooth jazz? Well, Metro Jazz takes you behind the scenes to give you an up-close and personal look on how that's done. Hope you enjoy.
Now, we know you love the smooth jazz here. It's why we have a charity CD Volume 5. And, of course, it also means we're benefiting the Rainbow Connection. How about getting 12 smooth jazz hits on one CD? Boney James, Al Jarreau, Bonafide, Kim Waters, Warren Bernhardt. Okay, they're all right here on this charity CD Volume 5. And, you know, we're all laughing here because we have a little bit of filming going on. So,
Yeah.
I was posturing.
Is that what it was? To the camera.
I was
That's
posturing in front of it. $14.98. Pick up that CD at Harmony House, Sam Goody, Dearborn Music, Chantilly Records, Street Corner Music, and once again benefits for the Rainbow Connection. It's sponsored by Farmer Jack. I love this music. I mean, it's been, you know, it's not a stretch for me to be presenting or disc jockeying or whatever they call those guys. This music is great music. The radio thing was the result of Tom Sleeker, our program director, who was just the greatest guy. And I don't say that because I know he might watch this. It's because here's a guy who comes from out of town. He's not a local guy, and starts building this station. And we all know the success that this station has had. And then he comes to a few of my performances, knowing me as an artist, and just recognizes something in not just the ability to perform, but in my dialogue with the audience, the rapport, because I love to give these folks an experience. I mean, you talk to them, you tell jokes, you throw CDs in the crowd. They can sit at home and listen to your CD. You want them to have an evening or an afternoon with you, you know. And I think Tom recognized that and the humor, everything, and just came to me one day and said, you ever thought of doing radio? And I had thought of doing radio because I did a lot of TV in the late 70s, 80s in Canada on CBC. When I think of radio, I was thinking maybe an hour special now and then. I had no idea he was going to pitch me on doing Morning Drive. And so we did a 2-day trial. And all the credit goes to him. I told him flat out, I don't know if this can work. I don't know if I'm any good at this, you know. And apparently it's worked. If I sound relaxed in the morning, which I think I do because I am, and if it appears to be an easy thing for me to do, it's because of these other folks. I mean, first Kevin Saunderson, because when I first started here, I had no Radio 101 experience. I was the musician who was on the air. Granted, I knew the music and all that, but yeah, I couldn't tell a story in 2 minutes if my life depended on it. Where on radio, 2 minutes is a lifetime, you know. And so Kevin was a big part of kind of seeing me through. Kevin, along with our program director, Tom Sleeker, and someone believing that you can do this, and you bringing this kind of very carefree attitude to it, and them allowing you to just, to for all purposes, be really not very good at this, but because people know who you are, you're getting away with it, you know. And now with Toni, the ability for Kevin and I to, you know, I think morning radio, people love the dialogue, they love the humor. It can't always be the world as two guys sees it.
I think it's always nice to have a female's point of view. And for us, I think it works very, very well. We're, quote unquote, the baby boomer group, so we all relate. We have the same types of memories, a lot of likes and the same dislikes for the most part. And it's great to get opinions, I think, from the female side, which for a while they didn't have. And we've gotten some great response from that. Just putting that twist to it, and you know, the guy-girl thing, you know, issues that come up, and that's a really good thing to work on when you're talking about opinions as far as points of view from the male and female side. And You know, of course, Alexander, he's crazy anyway, so you know he's got some interesting viewpoints on things, but it's a lot of fun. And if anything, I think it balances out the show in the morning. Again, with having the male and the female, and all in all, I think it just fills it up, and it's just a great show. We have a great time, and I think I have hit the job that I've always looked for. It's fun, and nothing is better than going to a job and you don't feel like you're going to work. I'm coming to work in the morning, and I'm going to talk to a lot of friends. You know, and that is the best feeling in the world, and I'm getting paid to do it. Doesn't get any better than this.
Get up around 3:30 in the morning, get here by about 4:45, work from 5 until 9, then we do more stuff from 10 till 1, and then I'm out and I do freelance work after that. The website is a way to get people involved in the radio station. It gives them another avenue other than calling or writing a regular letter through the mail. They can email us, they enter the contest that way. It's a lot of, it makes things a lot more, makes it more easy for people to enter and interact with the radio station. We always give you the names of the songs we play. If you missed that song title, you can go to the website and find that hour and what we played that hour and click on the song. You can even hear a little bit of it, and you can even buy it from the website if it's available. So yeah, and you can also find out more information about other smooth jazz artists. We have a page of artist links where you can click on the different artists who have websites, and you go right to their website and find out more about them if you like a particular artist. It's very hard to get into broadcasting in the first place. It's very hard to stay in broadcasting in the first place. You've really got to have a passion for it. You've really got to want to do it, and you've got to work really hard at it. And you've got to forget all the ideas about 9 to 5, about lots of money, because when you're first starting off, and even if you've been around for 30 years like me, there's not a lot of money. You really got to like what you're doing.
Well, first of all, I think we have some of the best listeners in Detroit. I've been in radio for 30 years. I've worked in a lot of different markets, and these are some of the nicest people that I've ever met here. We've done a lot of concerts and events, and we've met some really great people, and they're very supportive of the station. And it's just, really nice to be able to put a product together that they've embraced and support as well as they do smooth jazz.
We continue the Smooth Jazz theme by getting noted artist and composer Brian Culbertson's comments in our Smooth Jazz Minute segment.
I started, playing piano and drums and bass and trombone. I played a lot of different stuff, through high school and college and everything. And I just kind of concentrated more on the piano and writing aspect of it, and just writing songs and everything. And so all my stuff is original stuff, and that's kind of what I do. I'm from Illinois, originally Decatur, and then I moved up to Chicago, lived there for about 8 years, went to college there, and did a lot of stuff there, and then I just recently moved out to Los Angeles.
I heard a cut, I think it was on Bob James' album that I really liked, and then I looked and I think you had arranging credits?
Yeah, I co-wrote a couple of Bob's tunes, so that was a great thrill for me. It was Bob James, the guy I've looked up to ever since I was little, so it's very cool.
Any projects or things we can look forward to?
Yeah, actually, a record that's just about to come out is a new Steve Cole record, a guy that I've used to play in my band, and I produced his first record, and we just finished his second record.
Even though WVMV personality Alexander Zonjic has added the title radio personality to his repertoire, he is still the consummate musical artist. Here's a clip of Alexander at last year's Smooth Jazz Fest featuring Jeff Lorber.
I started as a guitar player, you know, a typical young guy who, you know, loved the Ventures and loved the whole rock scene and saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan and wanted to be a part of all that magic. And I was lucky enough that age-wise, I came up at, you know, what most people recognize as being the great days of rock and roll, and you know, and so that's how it started. And it was your typical, yes, I took lessons, but for the most part I learned everything in the garage, you know, with the band, and we played, and we had bands, and it meant so much to our social life because we grew up downtown Windsor, you know. I'll flatter myself by saying upper lower class, you know, working class parents, but you know, we didn't have a whole lot. So music opened up a big world to us that because otherwise we'd be getting in trouble for the most part. We'd be tipping garbage cans and trying to burn down the lumberyard. So it really was an amazing outlet for us. You know, I took my guitar lessons, played in those bands, and interestingly enough, and then went on the road when I was in my late teens with a rock band from Toronto. Looking to be a rock star, you know, and with this major hairdo and this, I had all the makings, you know. I looked like a rock star, but I came home to visit my parents, and a guy sold me a flute on the street, and it for the most part, it changed my life on a whole lot of levels. Meaning that I couldn't play it. I liked the way it looked in the case. He wanted $50. I only had $9, and he took it. And the obvious question there is, was it hot? And of course it was hot. It was, I don't know where he got it, you know. But it really was interesting at that point. Now I'm 21 years old, to all of a sudden go, wow, you know, I love this instrument. I can't play it very well. I don't have any natural aptitude. I try to impress upon people. It's not like I could play it all of a sudden. I had an amazing passion to want to learn how to play it. And next thing you know, I'm back at university and I'm studying classical music, and next thing you know, I'm listening to Bob James records, and next thing you know, I'm making records, and next thing you know, Bob James walks into Baker's Keyboard Lounge one night, 1981, late 81, it was fall of 81, and hears me play a Hubert Laws tune, Where the Wind Blows Free. You want to hear it? Sure. Okay, Where the Wind Blows Free goes like this. It goes. See, I still remember it. And Bob hears me play and comes up to me after the first show and says, I've been hearing about you, you know, which really kind of stuns you when you think your circle is so small, and all of a sudden here's this legend, you know, telling you how he's heard who you are, and says, listen, you know, we're going to Japan, and when we get back we're going to be playing Carnegie Hall. Would you like to join the band? You know, it took me like, yeah, about 2 seconds, you know, and I said, yeah. So that opened up a whole new world, and really kind of gave me a whole new commitment to this instrument here, which I struggle with to this day, but I totally love playing. I still love the guitar, don't get me wrong, but there's a different relationship that I have with this instrument. And so, in a nutshell, without getting into all the other, you know, stuff, you know, well, then I won this and then I won that, but I've been very fortunate and made lots of records and traveled around the world, and managed to maintain a nice home base. I love the Detroit area. Still play an active role in the classical world with my friend Irvin Monroe, who was another mentor, principal flute player at Detroit Symphony. He took me into a totally different level altogether, playing wise, you know. And so I've been very lucky in those regards. Like it takes a lot of hard work and it takes a lot of luck and all the rest, but you need those key people. In my case, a Bob James, an Irvin Monroe. These are two real mentors who you develop friendships, life friendships with. And I still am totally in awe of their abilities and still learn every time I'm around them.
Metro Jazz viewers pride themselves on doing things with class. Class is definitely one way to describe the dining experience at Southfield's Excalibur Restaurant. Nicknamed the X, Metro Jazz visited the restaurant to find out why the spot is one of the area's favorites for dining and entertainment.
Centrally located in Southfield, the Excalibur offers you an opulent setting with fine dining and a romantic atmosphere, along with top-rate Vegas-style entertainment. This unique combination ensures that you'll have a great dining experience at the X. Frank Sinatra and many other celebrities have dined there at one time or another. Now, you don't have to be a celebrity to be treated like one when you're at the X.
We've got a wonderful restaurant here that caters to all different types of business clientele as well as individuals. We've got dining and dancing. Kind of a dying art, a little bit of a dinosaur, if you will. I worked down at the Lunch Chop House from 1969 until 76. I actually came here in 78, 6 months after they opened. A gentleman by the name of Pat Archer opened the restaurant, hired me as his chef out of the Chop House. And then I bought it from his estate in 1988. So I've now had it 14 of the 24 years that it's been. We use 4 or 5 groups as our house bands. And then, anytime there's anybody in town, a lot of times they'll stop by. I mean, the late, great Al Hurt, the king of the Dixieland Jazz, anytime he was in town, he'd bring his horn, he'd blow his horn here. Of course, as you know, and as the story goes, Frank Sinatra always frequented the place whenever he was in town. And we used to cook for him all over the country. We'd send him food all over the place, or I would go out if he was close enough by in New York or in Cleveland or something. We'd go down there and cook for him. So he kind of put us on the map with the entertainment industry as far as the places to go when you're in town, when you're in Detroit, when you're in Southfield, and a place where you can go, you can relax. You're not going to be bothered by people asking you for autographs and bothering you. You can sit down and we protect their integrity and their privacy as well. So it's not uncommon to come in and see Lou Rawls having dinner here, or Liza Minnelli has been in many times. Marlo Thomas has been in. We had Michael Jackson when he came to town for the Motown Hitsville dedication. We did a party for him at Berry Gordy's old mansion over on Boston Boulevard. Well, my favorite Frank Sinatra memory would probably be the time that we were at the Auburn Hills Suites. He was playing the Palace. He decided about midnight that he wanted to go down to the lobby bar, and of course security and hotel were not real comfortable with that because the Chicago Bears were in town. There was a game the next day, and it was all Chicago people and Detroit people in the bar, which was an open-aired kind of a atrium effect with pool tables and stuff in it, and so it was not a secure situation, but Frank wanted to do it, and when Frank wants to do it, he does it. So we did it, and one of my most chilling moments I can tell you is that as we got thrown out of the bar at 2:30 and told us, he didn't quite understand what that meant when he had to leave. He was walking down the hallway singing "Set 'em Up, Joe." It was 2:45. No one left, just you and me, and it was just the three of us, Jilly and Frank and myself, walking down the hallway. And of course, the atrium effect. People were opening their doors and they were really hooting and hollering and having a great time, knowing that Frank was singing on the top of his lungs, walking down the open hallways. So. That was just kind of one of the fun stories that I can really get excited about every time I tell that story.
We're here with Vincent Boulone, executive chef here at the Excalibur Restaurant, and we've got a beautiful table of prepared cuisine here to show our viewing audience. Perhaps you can show us what each dish is.
Yeah, Chris, we'll start out. This is a seared salmon with a caper and tomato beurre blanc, which is a white wine butter sauce over a bed of steamed spinach. This is salmon, like I said earlier. We sell a lot of it here. It's one of our signature dishes. Next in line here, we have a 24-ounce beef porterhouse steak, which is another signature item that we sell quite a lot here. This is a 4-pound Maine lobster, which is one of the larger ones that we carry here in a tank in the back kitchen. And we prepare those steamed or broiled, or whichever way a person wants them. This is our filet mignon, which is a tenderloin with asparagus spears and a port wine demi-glaze. And this is one of our most popular. Our fillets and our New York strips, a lot of our steaks are very popular. We sell more filet, I think, than anything else, but a lot of people like a good filet mignon. Moving along here, we have a house-made flatbread, which we make here on a daily basis. We serve this in all our bread baskets. The gabelladina is a sweet and sour Italian relish that I make here, and that's we use that also at the catering facility. It's got olives in it and pepperoncinis, and likewise it goes very good with rolls, hot dinner rolls, and crackers, that type of thing. It's a nice relish, and that's also available here if anybody wants it. We have a scampi maison, which means from the house, and this is a shrimp sautéed with garlic, butter, paprika, basil, shallots, garlic, I said garlic, Very pungent and, you know, very garlicky sauce. Okay, and we serve a lot of those here. And then moving along right next to it here, we have our calamari, which is squid, which we cut into fine strips and saute it, lightly breaded. And we have a white wine butter lemon sauce that we put on the bottom of the plate and garnish it with some tomatoes and scallions and things like that. And both these items we sell a lot of here. It's one of our more famous desserts, Baked Alaska. And this is basically a sponge cake with a scoop of ice cream and like a pureed strawberry mixture on the inside, and then it's piped with meringue, fresh meringue around the outside, and then we flame it with brandy on the outside, and then pour chocolate sauce over the top, which you don't see the chocolate sauce here, but that's basically how we present it, and then the waitstaff pours the chocolate over it and flames it at the table, and it's there. And that's basically it. These are, you know, at least 7 of our more popular items.
Now that was tasty. If you'd like to obtain more information about the restaurant, go visit Excalibur's website at www.theexcalibur.com.
Well, we've come to the close of another episode. If you haven't gotten our newsletter, please contact the station here at 248-354-5348 to leave your contact information. We'll be sure to mail it out to you.
And as always, remember, Metro Jazz is music and life. Metro Jazz is you.
We'll see you later.